Okay, some of y'all didn't understand what I put up about 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 13. I said, be careful what you ask God. Be careful what you ask for. Because the people went to Samuel and asked Samuel for a king. And they said they wanted a king like all the nations. And Samuel told them, said, this king would take your sons, your daughters, and your vineyards and give them to uh, his servants. And you would cry out, I'm paraphrasing, because of your king. And y'all said, nay, we want a king like all the nations. And when you read, and Samuel would say, God said he want to be your king. And, y'all was like, what about my sons? And you was like, no, they take bribes for, on like to give bad judgments. So he went to the Lord and Samuel went to the Lord and prayed, and they went and he found a man named Saul, and took Saul's and took their donkeys, and they went looking for the donkeys, and Samuel had a dinner for him and Jonathan and told him that the Lord called him to be king over Israel. And Saul became the king. They anointed him king over Israel. He was tall and handsome. So they was like, we would give you a king like all the nations. So God gave him a king, and they wanted a king like all the nations. They wanted a king to judge them and fight their battles. So that's why I said, be careful what you ask for, because they wanted a king. God could have been their king. And my other point was, remember when they in Exodus, when they was in there battling for the fiery, when Pharaoh had them captive, they was complaining about being slaves in Egypt, and God sent them a deliverer. And then when Moses took them out of Egypt, they were complaining, talking about their kids were more sick. They was doing better while they was in Egypt. And I said, be careful what you ask. Be careful what you ask God. Be careful what you ask for. And when they came out of Egypt, they complained. They complained against Moses. They said Moses went up to the mountaintop and Moses would never come down. So, and God gave him the 10 Commandments. He took them out of Egypt. And God said, was telling them, be careful what you ask for. You said, God, I want to be married. And God was telling me, yeah, you want to be married. But when you want to go somewhere, you can't just jump up and go. You can't, if you want to go and take a vacation by yourself. You can't do that. You have to always explain something to your wife. And if you got to go preach somewhere, you can't just go. You can't just go by just go. You had to explain something. You had to explain. And when you pray, God, send me a woman. You got to pray for the right woman. That's why I said, be careful. Be careful what you ask for, because God, we would try to if we don't get what we want, we try to do it ourselves. So be careful what you ask for. You know?